Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? This is Dane from NYYU. We are here with Carlos from Yankees Farm for the Yankees Farm Report. Los, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So we wanted to talk about the guys that were just called up and also talk about who we might see when the rosters expand on September 1st and who else might come up at that time and other late season call ups because they obviously need to start letting to see these kids play. So, who's the first guy that you want to get into?
Well, we could talk about Everson.
Well, let's
Um,
do it.
he's a guy that we have been saying for a while now. I want to say that it was time to give him that call up. It was time to give him a shot because at that time he was tearing up AAA. He came off the IL, went right into rocking it in Somerset, was promoted, and he just kept right on rolling.
Yeah, he has absolutely torn the cover off the ball. His average is over 300. He's got, I believe, more RBIs and games played. He's just doing absolutely everything that you want. And with as
Mm-hmm.
bad as left field has been this year, there's no way he's not an improvement.
Absolutely. I think I saw that left fielders were combined hitting a 225 for the Yankees this year. I don't know what the hell the Yankees were waiting for so long. Um, and I did want to get into one thing first with Everson, and it is what it is with him. Um, he's a guy who, when he's locked in, he's gonna get he's gonna hit home runs in
Bunches.
stacks, in bunches, right? But there's also the strikeout aspect with him. He's a guy who down right now, I think he was striking out at about a 27% clip. So it's not uncommon for him to in a game to go strike out, two-run home run.
Right. You are going to see a fair amount of strikeouts from him, but he's
Mm-hmm.
also, when he makes contact, he is going to put the ball in play and hit the ball hard. I,
Right.
I think I've seen exit velocities from him up to 117 miles an hour while he's been in AAA. He does 110 pretty regularly
Mm-hmm.
on.
He's up towards the top percentile. I know that. I'm not sure what the max exit velo is. I thought it was around 115. But he does make a lot of contact. He barrels the ball very well. But again,
He
it's
does.
just one of the things where he will strike out. That's just a part of his game right now. So I expect him to come up. I think he's playing tonight,
Uh-huh.
and he's probably gonna get a lot of breaking balls. I expect that.
But he has such fast hands that he can make late swing decisions and still impact the ball hard on breaking balls. I think that's something that MLB pitchers are going to have to adjust to him because the hand speed and bat speed with him is just phenomenal. I
Mm-hmm.
was reading an article from his AA coach, and he said that when Everson gets in trouble at the plate, it's because his hands are faster than his body. And he starts leaning forward a little bit too much. And he gets out on his front foot and obviously the balance struggles, but the hands are so quick that he can hit anything at any velocity, anywhere in the plate.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to strike out, but he's going to also contribute.
To be honest with you, the bar is set. So I believe the bar has been set so low for him, and my only hope is that Yankee fans are patient, be patient with him, and hopefully the Yankees show him the same amount of patience as they would a reclamation project.
Why would they give a rookie the same kind of run that they would give Billy McKinney or Greg Allen? I mean, those guys have superstar potential. Come on now.
I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, man, I just hope that you guys show him some patience. He is a rookie. MLB pitchers are going to immediately try to exploit what they deem to be his weakness. So you
Mm-hmm.
know, don't start trying to say send him back after an 0 for 5 night or after he strikes out 4 times in a game. You got to keep trotting him back out there.
Absolutely. They have given enough of these scrubs a chance over the last 3 or 4 months and continued at bat after continued at bat. This kid
Hmm.
has a real chance to be a big part of our future, either with this team or bringing back a huge piece in return if they decided foolishly to trade him. I
Hmm.
mean, he's got a future. So give him the opportunity with this time's left And I would bet anything that he's going to be better than anything we've seen in left field this year so far.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. I'm pretty much with you there. I don't think he can possibly do any worse than what we saw this season from left field.
No, I think the Yankees are 27th or 28th in WAR in left field. Also in
It,
batting average,
it's
it's just
absolute
horrible.
atrocious. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other question is, Everson plays both the corner outfield and center. Do you expect to see him in center field at all? Or do you think that they're just going to give him
Um,
time in left?
I think primarily it'll be in left, but I would also pencil him in center field for a couple games. I don't think they're going to put Bader out there every single day. I like Bader, but that dude gets hurt if the wind blows too hard.
Yeah. He plays so hard that he gets hurt. I understand that, but
Hmm.
he becomes such a liability because of all the lost playing time. I
Hmm.
just don't see him as a long-term piece anymore. He's a
I,
great
I I
defender.
don't either. I don't either. I like Bader, I really do, but
I do
for
too.
me, it's just a matter of his health, which he has really no control over. He's hurt a lot, and another thing for me is he doesn't hit enough for
No,
this team. He doesn't hit
that
enough for this team to have a defensive first center fielder.
exactly. And the thing with Everson has very similar injury risk as Bader
Hmm.
does. They both get hurt frequently. The difference being is when Everson's healthy, he's going to produce at a much higher level at the plate than Bader will. In my opinion, he might not have the same quite quality of defense, but he's still a good defender.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think he's going to be like a complete loss out there in left field. In left field, he's actually a pretty good defender. But Bader is who Bader is. He's a very good defensive player. But I would never think that Everson is going to be that. But Everson is going to do other things for you. He offensively, in the power department as well, and in run producing also.
Yeah, and for me, if can stay healthy, he is a much better prospect than people think he is. His
Hmm.
biggest issue has been staying healthy consistently. If he stays healthy consistently at the major league level, he's going to be a good player, a
Hmm.
very good player. He's going to be somebody who makes an all-star team a couple times in his career. And he's someone that probably played 10 years, like you and I've talked about in the past, for a team at one position, pencil him in, and you know what you're going to get from him. I'm
Right, a foundation
excited.
piece. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this kid play from this point on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we also had another guy called up, which was Oswald Peraza, which we've beat this horse to death about three
Uh-huh.
or four times by now. But
Hmm.
it sounds like they're going to play him at second, third, and maybe even a little shortstop when Volpe
Hmm.
has a day off or something.
Hmm.
Um, what are you hoping to see from him this time when he was called up?
I'm pretty much hoping that he similar to what he did last year, where he hit 300. Again, I'm not saying he's going to hit 300 right now, but
No, I
he's
understand.
not going to be he's not going to be an automatic out offensively,
Right.
and he'll play sound defense.
I think he's a fantastic defensive player. He's one of the
Hmm.
for me, he's one of the best shortstops I've ever seen at that age.
Hmm.
Uh, and the arm, everybody knows about the arm. It's a rocket ship. I don't know when this narrative started that he can't hit major league pitching because, as we've talked about, he hit 300 over the whole time he was up last year, started a playoff game. The kid can play, but
Hmm.
I want to see consistent at bats. I want to see him play more than two games in a row. I want him
Hmm.
allowed to be settled in so we can at least see what we have.
Yeah, I think that's when I saw that he was going to called up. I said, okay, that's cool, but is he going to get consistent playing time? I mean, I think there's 38, 39 games left in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that Peraza and Everson play all 38 of those games. Like, I don't want to hear this, oh, he needs a rest bullshit. I don't want to hear that. I want to see them in the lineup every single day. It doesn't matter where.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Um, Now September 1st, the rosters expand to 28.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple guys that are already on the 40 man that seem like logical candidates to call up. Yoendry Domes being the first one because he's out of options at the end of the year. And if he's not on the
Mm-hmm.
26 man roster, they're going to lose him for absolutely nothing. So they need to find out what they have in him in that kind of role.
Mm-hmm.
But who is another guy that you see being the other guy they call up?
Well, I think the other guy that we've heard rumored and we actually thought he was going to happen sooner is Austin Wells, of course.
Right.
And we've seen people saying, people saying that he's going to be up on the first when the rosters expand. And I would love to see that. I know he's got to get on the 40 man though, so there has to be a move that's made before that happens.
And when we were talking just before this, we went over some moves that the Yankees could make to open up 40 man spots. Nestor Cortez sounds like he's probably done for the year. He's on the 15-day IL. They could probably transfer him to a 60, open up a roster spot. Bowman, Spencer Howard, both journeyman bullpen arms, probably
Mm-hmm.
don't really have a future here. Matt
I'm pretty
Crook,
sure they don't.
yeah, I would really hope so. Matt
Mm-hmm.
Crook, as we talked about, hasn't pitched since when? July?
This is like July 18th, I believe is what I saw.
Right. Um, Nick Ramirez obviously is someone that desperately needs to go. Frenchie Cordero's also a 40 man guy that could go. So we have a
Mm-hmm.
number. The point I'm trying to get at poorly is that we have a number of guys we can let go to expand even more guys. So after Wells, who seems very, very logical that he'll be called up, is there a couple other guys that you could see?
A couple other guys that I would like to see get a cup of coffee or whatever, just get their feet wet would be Clayton Beater,
Mm-hmm.
Will Warren. Will Warren's another guy. These are guys that are pretty much on the cusp of joining the team, maybe even being options for next season. So I would love to see them get their feet wet this year. The Yankees have nothing to lose at this point. No matter how much they try to say that they're trying for the wild card, it's not a reality. Let's start getting ready for 2024.
Okay. Carlos Narvaez.
I
He's
like
going to be in,
Narvaez.
I do too, but he's also going to be Rule 5 eligible. He's in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he is a catcher. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think that they give him a look to find out what they have in him?
I think because he's probably so far down on their depth chart, probably it doesn't happen. But I mean, I would definitely not be mad about a Wells Narvaez platoon situation.
No, I
But
wouldn't either.
then, but like I said, I don't think the Yankees um are gonna find the place for him right now, especially since they're just not gonna get rid of Higgy.
You wouldn't
Not
think
right now.
so. You wouldn't think that they would, but they probably should at this point. He's a free agent at the end of the year. There's 40 games left. They're not making the playoffs. What do you need a veteran catcher for?
I I don't know. I mean, to me, it makes total sense to start looking towards the future. I think this year he's making almost $2 million. I can only assume that'll be increased by another $1 million next season. I think is he R eligible? I'm not sure.
No, I think
Um,
he's a straight free agent at the end of the year.
okay. So I mean, again, I don't think he's a long-term fixture. The Yankees like him, but I would be ready to start looking towards the future.
Yeah, he's over 30. Narvaez is 24. Why not get the younger, more athletic, better defensive catcher up and see
Absolutely.
what you have in him? Um, Now we have a couple guys like Florial, Chaparro, who
Hmm.
are also in AAA. They've got good numbers on the year, especially Florial. They're both going to be minor league free agents. What do you think the chances of them seeing any kind of call up and opportunity to play? Air?
Nothing. I would be absolutely shocked if the Yankees gave him any opportunity. I just don't see it. I don't see the Yankees giving them any opportunity, especially Florio. I don't know what Florio did to the front office, um, but whatever it is, they've pretty much banished him.
I don't understand how a guy can come up in your own system
Hmm.
and be as good as he's been for the last 2 seasons in AAA,
I mean,
and
and
then
also keep in mind, he was also before Jason came along, he was also the number one prospect on his organization
yes,
for
he
a couple of
was.
years at one point. I know injuries took a bit of a toll on him, but he was the number one prospect in this organization for a few years.
Yeah, I think he was top 30 overall when the year he finished high A. I
Yeah.
mean, he was a very highly ranked prospect, and the injuries got him, and then he's never been
Hmm.
given an opportunity.
And so last season, I think was the beginning of the Yankees asking for something different of him, asking for something more of him, and he did that. And yet they rewarded him by giving him like 20 at bats, spread out over whatever it was, 3, 4 months or something like that. And then this year, he turns in an even better season, and the Yankees pretty much ignore him completely. I mean, it is what it is.
Right. And this is a topic that we haven't really discussed, but it ties in very well here. Ben Ruta, who's a former MLB player in the Yankee system, came out the other day and made some comments about how the Yankees train, what they do in drills, etc. And he said that basically they played a game called pitchers versus catchers. And the only way for hitter or pitchers versus hitters, Dane Sterling on your present. Um, anyway, and the only way for the hitters to score runs was to hit 95 miles an hour off the bat or walk. The strikeouts didn't matter. What's always been the reason that they have told us they've never given Florial a shot?
That's funny. That's funny. Um, Regarding Ruda, I mean, I think that was his experience. And I don't know when was he in the system? Was it like 16, 17, 18?
No, he
I want
was
to
with
say
the system till 2021.
to 2021.
Yes.
Well, no, I think that he came back.
Well, he was there for 2020, and I think he
Mhm.
came back in 21
I mean,
because all
my
those
only
all the
Go
games
ahead.
that he was talking about, the training was in 2020, the COVID season.
Mhm.
So
I mean, like I don't really know what to say to that because you have an FCL team which won the championship last year. You have the AA team which won a championship, which is pretty much the premier league of
yes, it
minor
is.
league baseball. They won a championship
Yeah.
there as well. I think at Hudson Valley they were in the playoffs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this season you have the FCL back in the playoffs hunt again. You have Somerset has already clinched their spot. I think Hudson Valley did as well. So I mean, as an organization, they have to be doing something right. They have to
Right.
be doing something right. And to me, and we've spoken about this before, but I think the philosophy as far as draft has changed over the last three,
It
maybe
has a
four
great
years.
deal.
And also who they sign in the IFA markets have as well. Before it was just like, oh, that guy's a top guy, throw money at him, throw money at him, throw money at
Mm.
him. And the Yankees have hit pretty well on some of these lower tier guys.
Yeah, the Tejadas, the Kiners, I mean,
The
uh,
Lalanes,
yes.
yeah.
And so they do some stuff well. I primarily think they do the pitching side really well, that they have not exactly thrived in the hitting development side, but I think that's coming.
And that is a fair assessment. But one thing that I think people fail to realize is the Yankees have been pretty good at developing pitchers, namely relief pitchers. And while you might
Mm-hmm.
not see these relief pitchers on the Yankees team, you will see them spread out throughout Major League Baseball and other teams like Arizona, Baltimore. Um, who else? I've seen in Seattle. You will see
Seattle,
you will
uh,
see relief pitchers of the Yankees in these other systems.
St.
Boston as
Louis has
well.
got one.
St. Louis has one as well, an all-star closer.
Yeah, Cleveland. But your point's right. They do develop relievers very well. I think you're going to start seeing starting pitching from the Yankee system littered throughout baseball. Look, there's a limited number of spots and opportunities to give these kids. And sometimes a prospect's biggest value is as a trade piece to bring back something else. So when the Yankees develop an asset that turns into a trade piece, that's a developmental win. but they got to start doing more to affect our own major league club.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have well, the Yankees have not one, but they have two $300 million players. You should have no other choice but to say, hey, we need to develop from within because we're not going to be able to, afford all of these free agents allegedly. Um, we're not going to be able to afford all these other free agents. And what else do you have? You have to look internally. And
Mm-hmm.
and for me, I think this is the one area where the Yankees should be able to flex their muscle, right? Flex their financial muscle is they should be having the best people as far as development. Like I would raid, Tampa's system. I would raid the
Atlanta,
Dodgers, Atlanta as well. Like I would pay these guys top dollar. I would pay some of these
absolutely.
guys top dollar.
So go get their scouting director or go get their people who do. We need somebody in that farm system that does a better job at promotions. We have seen a bottleneck that has happened in that system at pitcher or at catcher and in the outfield where these kids are blocked and just unable to move up. That's a developmental issue inside the system. They have to find somebody who knows when it's time to call kids up to the
Mm-hmm.
next level.
Absolutely agree.
So getting back to the major league club, do you think that there is anyone that's going to make an impact enough that they are going to become long-term pieces out of what we're going to see in the next 40 games? Do
In
you
the next
think
40
Pereira
games,
or next 35
um,
games?
or whatever it is, I would hope that Everson does make enough of an impact where they can say, you know what, we can pencil you in going to spring training. The job is yours to lose, or the job is yours, whatever it may be. I would love to see Peraza actually get a job or have a
Mm-hmm.
position to play here. Um, we'll see how that goes. I also, again, regarding the rest of the season, I definitely want to see Wells because I want to see what he can offer this team. I think he would be very good on this team, especially being since he's a left-handed bat. So we'll see what happens there.
I want to see Gomes. I really like that kid and that 11 strikeout 4 inning performance that he had the other day. The kid can get outs. We've seen him up late in spring training getting outs. He
Mm-hmm.
pitched very, very well. There is no reason not to give this kid a look and lose him for nothing when you've held on to him all this time. And
They almost have to. Like you said, they've almost have to. I think I don't even know how long it's been, but I know it's been what 2 or 3 years that he's been on the 40 man.
since
And
2020,
yeah, so you're not just gonna lose. You're not just all of a sudden now gonna lose him at this moment. You have to at least see what he can provide you, and if that opportunity comes through through bullpen use, then so be it. But the point is
right?
to get him on the roster and get him facing major league hitters to see what he can provide, or if there's a future for him there.
Yeah. And I think that he could be successful in a number of roles. Obviously, he's not built up to be a 6, 7 inning starter
No.
right now, but
Hmm.
he could very easily open a couple games, give you 3, 4 innings, or give you 2, 3 strong innings out of the bullpen. And even if they wanted to put him in a 1 inning role, that stuff of his will play up. That fastball velocity plays up in shorter outings, as we saw in spring training. There's a variety of roles that he can be good at.
Hmm.
So we'll see. You have anybody else you want to touch on?
No, I think those guys are pretty much it.
Oh, and Greg Allen got DFA'd. We didn't talk about that. That
Yeah,
was a
I mean,
little.
it, I said that was probably going to be my guy, but being that the Yankees were the Yankees, I said I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's him. They traded a prospect for him, so I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
that's the guy that I would that's the move that I would have made.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us here, Los. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys.
Later.